dad who was an athlete. He played football and wrestled and ran track in high school and played football in college. So from the time I was little, I was always doing something athletic outside, doing something. So my opportunities were very different when I was little compared to what opportunities are now for young women. But growing up, I was always encouraged, and my parents fostered my desire to compete, whether it was softball or basketball or anything that I was doing. Think about like who was accessible to me in terms of role models. It was so different because we didn't have 9 ESPN stations, and women's athletics was like really just starting to grow. I mean, I was on the forefront of Title IX, and I think about my opportunities as a high schooler versus maybe women just even a decade before me, and the opportunities that I had to come to college to play, where I know that there was a lot of women who fought for those rights and that equality, and that I just happened to be a person who was lucky enough to be in front of it so that I had opportunities. Once I got here and I met the team and got involved with the team, it was like the place that I knew that I was supposed to be. It was a perfect fit for me, and I loved every aspect of this place. I never ever felt that we were less than as women. I felt respected. It also helped that we were really successful when I was here, and I felt that there was value placed on, especially from my own experience as a women's basketball player, that there was value placed on that. I think time gives you perspective on that. In the midst of it, it was just what we did. I mean, everybody was competitive, everybody wanted to succeed, everybody wanted to win. And actually, at that time, speaking of like women's soccer, softball, women's basketball, we were a pretty close-knit group, like hung out, was friends. So we spent a lot of time together, on and off the field. So in the midst of it all, it didn't seem anything necessarily out of the ordinary, other than we'd expected nothing less of ourselves than to do well. And I also had a unique experience because as an athlete, I felt like I helped kind of groom the path or pave the road. But then right after I graduated, I was hired as the assistant women's coach. So I got to experience what that looked like and what that felt like to make the decisions to go from Division III to Division I, how that changed recruiting, how that changed almost every aspect from a coaching perspective, and then to actually see it happen, and then eventually getting out of coaching but still remaining at Binghamton University. I've seen the entire process happening. And I feel just really fortunate that I was able to have a part in all of it. I think one of the things that happens for me is that my conversations about BU athletics and the university as a whole just naturally comes out as positive, as excitement and enthusiasm, because that's genuinely how I feel. And clearly I've been here over half of my life, and I love it here. I love every aspect about it. My first year here, my junior year, that winter, we played in a tournament in Nassau, in the Bahamas. And that was such a cool experience. I mean, being with my teammates, being in the Bahamas. We played on a court that I guess you would consider outdoor, indoor. I mean, it had a roof over it, but it was open all the way around. We won, which was super important and awesome, and that was probably one of my favorite experiences as an athlete here, was getting to like really go away and travel and be somewhere else with my team. That year, our team was very successful, and there was some kind of, I don't remember exactly what happened, but we played too many games. We were supposed to go to NCAAs, which is the goal for any team, is to make NCAAs. And we found out like at the 12th hour that there was something happened with our schedule and we weren't able to go. So we had to settle for ECACs. I think it's amazing, and I'm really thankful for the athletic department for doing something like this, for celebrating 50 years of women's athletics and the value that's put on that. And even thinking about in the spring with the luncheon and how much our university and our athletics department values women and their accomplishments and supports their endeavors athletically is, I think it's somewhat unique. And I know that we see it's better. And I think as a nation, we still have some work to do. And I feel like Binghamton University really is on the forefront of celebrating women and women's accomplishments.